Stand by.
What's the piano?
Lock it up.
Last one, guys.
2-13, take 1, Mark.
Action.
Mother, look! A boy.
Come on, Gerda. It's far too cold.
He looks so unhappy.
Here. Give him this.
I was inspired to write the music for The Snow Queen as a result of the illness of a close friend of mine. And I set about writing 7 songs which tell the story of The Snow Queen. I then created a concert version with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, choirs, soloists and narrator, which received its world premiere at the Barbican Hall in December 2003. Featured in this concert were projections created by the director Julian Gibbs and his UK-based company Intro. The Snow Queen concerts were the springboard really for the film.
Paul had come to see us and just talked to us about how much he'd enjoyed that emotional collage that was going on. We got together and made a test film with Sydney White.
And on the coldest day, the Snow Queen came for Kay.
We just started to investigate how it would translate into some sort of filmic opera. We created a sense of how the environments would be made and how the world would look and feel. So we began to develop the style from that first test.
It was kind of a dream of ours when we were doing the concerts, and now we're actually here. And it's all like a big fairy tale in itself. It's actually like the Snow Queen in reality.
Like a million bees swarming.
There should be a queen bee then.
There is. She's called the Snow Queen. Well, this is my first experience of blue screen. I've never worked this way before. And I was quite apprehensive because I thought, how is it going to be?
What friends they've become, those two. I've never seen Gerda so happy.
Such appetites. That boy will eat me out of house and home.
It was good of you to take him in, Anna. He's a different lad with some meat on his bones.
Blue screen is a little bit difficult for actors and actresses because there's no reference points at all. To some scenes will be, a little tennis ball on a lighting stand, and you have to imagine that's a castle, and the other tennis ball's a crow. Well, figure that one out.
Say you have to be freezing cold. It's quite difficult because you're in a boiling hot studio and it's just blue and there's no snow.
We shot a scene in which we're, struggling through a snow blizzard, and we've got about 5 layers of petticoat and undergarment and woolen jackets and then at least 2 shawls. And we're in a very, very hot studio without air conditioning in a heat wave in the summer in Toronto. So that took a little bit of a leap of the imagination.
You have to trust that what goes on behind you is going to, complement what you're doing as an actor, I guess.
It was weird. It was really weird because you really do have to imagine this beautiful, magical place, because most of our scenes that I was in took place in a castle, so I really did have to imagine it, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun.
I have to find my friend. He's been taken to a palace somewhere to the north.
There is only one palace north of here.
The Snow Queen.
Queen indeed.
Oh, I do hope not, Gerda. How vexing for you. I'm told she sits on a throne made of ice. Not even a cushion. Imagine that.
blurring the line between the element that's in front of the blue screen and the blue screen itself is a crucial part of the suspension of disbelief that the narrative hangs on. To integrate the performance element of the film, the actors and actresses, we kind of like to give them key props and key stage set elements which can then be recessed into midground or foreground or underneath them or around them. So, and we try and sort of change that gag from shot to shot and scene to scene, so you're not quite sure where it stops and where it starts.
You do get some props, but it's more important with eye line to make sure you're looking in the right place, because if you're not, then when they put it all together, it looks like you're looking completely the wrong place.
And the Hans Christian Andersen story itself is a very kind of trippy ideas that fairy stories are. They're fantasies of hugely flawed logic, and we try and take it to the absolute limit in terms of the visual feast that we're laying out.
While Julian was shooting in Canada, I would work out exactly what elements are needed in that scene. I'd do these drawings which they're like diagrams of how to actually build it. Using flat artwork, you can actually build the environment in 3D out of 2D artwork. It makes the shots sort of really dynamic. Scene 47, which is Gerda on a mountain where she's really struggling and she's barefoot and she's only got her sort of cloak to keep her warm, and the reindeer's with her and they're both struggling to get through through this blizzard. It was just shot on a blue background, Gerda just on her own, and I was a little bit concerned when I got the footage back that there was no practical snow on her. I was thinking, I don't know how we're going to make it look like she's in this environment. I managed to create something that works really well. I was really pleased with the end result, actually.
This is the raw footage of Gerda walking up the slope. So the main background for it was a sort of mountain, and then there's some sort of snowy trees there. It's just built up lots and lots of layers of snow. That's the sort of camera move. The next thing is to put Gerda in there, putting the sort of snow effects on her. Basically just playing with the highlights on her clothing. And also there's a shadow layer as well. And we've got a reindeer that appears in the background there. And then when you've actually got smoke, a little bit of magic, and the snow, and this is Gerda and her pal battling through the snowy environment, and pretty much every single scene is put together like that.
Three reindeers came in, a male and two females, and it was absolutely amazing to work with them.
It was wonderful. It walked from A to B when we needed it to, and it shook its head and stood still and looked at stuff and did everything that we kind of need it to do when we come to composite it into back into its natural habitat.
They are very, very strong. That was one thing. I was meant to be walking the reindeer when he was actually walking me, and I kind of had to duck every time he tried to look to the left or the right, because his antlers were so huge that they would have smacked me in the face, and so it was great working with that too. That was definitely one of the highlights.
The cruel winter, relentless and cold, left Gerda alone, case story untold.
At one point we had to have a big rowboat in the studio, and it had quite heavy oars, and Gerda is meant to row across a river, and I couldn't get the hang of it at first. It was I couldn't get my arms in the right position. Everyone was kind of laughing. It was quite funny.
If precious care
How I wish the river could speak.
I can speak. What's the matter with you?
My friend is dead.
We've spent a long time creating the raven, the computer graphic equivalent of a real bird, so we can make it talk and get it to move in exactly the same way as a bird does. And birds have anatomy just like we do. They have a forearm, fingers, and a wrist and an elbow. They have monocular vision, which has got a 23-degree blind spot, which is why they talk like that all the time and look at you.
The river took him.
Not this river. I live here. I see everything.
The raven is a character of knowledge, so it needed someone that had that kind of natural wisdom and that natural command over the world that it's in. So Patrick Stewart was he's the man,
Not this river. I live here. I see everything.
Then where is he? Where did he go?
Who knows? Try downstream.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's driven us to create the raven as quite an unusual element within the film, but a very natural element within the fairy tale.
Follow the river. Go north.
It's a great kind of combination of talent. Huge performances from Juliet Stevenson and Kenneth Welsh and Sydney herself, but all driven by this hugely compulsive music that grabs you from the very first few seconds and doesn't let you go until right at the end when you're in tears.
All her tears for this lonely child destroyed the fragment K-Ray.
Wake up, kid.
Deeper into the story is this powerful message of love conquering death, which for me has a real resonance.
Where have you been all this time? Where have I been?
If you have a good heart and a good will and a bit of, inner strength, you can overcome these obstacles and achieve any goal that you wish.
Although it's fantastical and although it's magical and takes place in a realm of fantasy, it has at its heart very, very human qualities and characteristics, and I think that's what I love about it.
Oh, Gerda! Oh.